So a couple of weeks ago, I put this video out here about replacing my stem and my handlebars. And ever since, I've had a little bit of play in my headset. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. As always, my name is Todd, and I'm an old-ass mountain biker. And today, we're gonna take this Wolf Tooth's Components Bling kit, and we're gonna upgrade the spacers underneath my new stem, raise it a little so we can get it tighter. Let me show you why. As you can see, with a little bit of pressure, the headset has some movement to it. So my theory is this stem is shorter than the original stem that came with the bike, and I need new spacers. So before we get started, let's take a quick look at everything we're gonna need. Obviously starting with the Wolf Tooth Components Bling kit. So it comes with a 3mm, a 5mm, 10mm, and 15mm spacers. The 15mm spacer has the Wolf Tooth logo on the front. Obviously it also has a stem cap and the stem bolt. It comes with 4 water bottle screws. I only have 1 water bottle cage, so I guess I'll only get to use 2 of them. In addition to that, make sure you have a 4mm key and a 5mm key for removing the stem bolts as well as the stem cap. And I also have a set of calipers and the original stem that came with the bike. I want to test my theory that the new stem is a lot smaller than the old stem, and we'll do that as soon as we take the other one off. As always, I like to use a torque wrench set when reattaching everything, just to make sure nothing comes loose. So the first thing we have to do is loosen up the stem bolts that attach the stem to the steerer tube, and then we will remove the top cap. To remove the stem bolts, 4mm hex key. Just remember, when you loosen the stem bolt, make sure that your forks don't drop out. So as you can see, there's not a lot of room to allow us to compress the headset and preload the bearing. We can now take the stem back off. And the first thing I'm actually going to do is just measure how wide the stem is. So I'm not going to do a full headset service. If this is something you'd be interested in seeing a video on, let me know in the comments below. Today, we're just going to take the old spacers off and replace them with new green ones. And a little pro tip, when you have a logo on something, go ahead and try and make sure you always get it to face forward. So with the new spacers in place, we're going to slide the stem back on. As you can see, we now have significantly more space between the top of the steerer tube and the top of the stem itself, so we should have enough room to be able to compress the bearings or preload the bearings. Alright, so with the stem bolts still loose, it's time to put the top cap back on. I decided that I'm going to stick with the Fazari branded top cap. I really like having the name of my bike right there, so I think that's going to still look nice. But I did decide that I'm going to use the black bolt that came with the Wolf Tooth Components kit instead of the original silver that came with the bike. And again, make sure you get your logos lined up correctly. It looks like everything was done with intention then. And snug it up nice. And then you can just look and feel underneath to see if there's any play. To really test it, we're going to take it out of the stand, turn the wheel 90 degrees after I have the front wheel aligned with the handlebars, and we'll see if we still have that play or if this took care of the problem like I suspect it would. If you haven't seen my previous video about putting your stem and handlebars on, one of the tricks that I saw on GMBN was to sight the fork relative to your handlebars as opposed to sighting your handlebars to the front wheel. And I found it to be pretty good so far. And to start with, I just make the bolts snug enough to hold the steerer tube because I want to test for play in the head set. It's a tiny little bit. If you have a tiny bit of play, the goal is to tighten this down 1/8 of a turn at a time until there's no more play. And that should do it. Hopefully I will feel the difference on the trail. If you like the content, make sure you hit like and please subscribe. Thanks everybody.